something I've done before, and this is why. Have you ever thought that you could do something better? It may have been good, it may have been liked by several people, maybe a lot of people, but there's a niggling little feeling that you could have made it better. And so this is why I'm returning to a recipe called magic cheesecake. Here's what you're going to need for the 3 magic cheesecakes. We're starting with some little ramekins, and we have 3 of these, and those are 150 mils or 5 fluid ounces each, and we're going to line them with a little bit of melted butter. I'm using a couple of ounces, 50 grams, but basically we need 1 or 2 tablespoons to mix in with some crushed digestive biscuits. That's 3 digestive biscuits. Then for the filling, we need 1 egg, 2 or 2.5 tablespoons of sugar, mascarpone cheese, about 4 tablespoons, and 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. Now that is all you need. The quantities can be varied slightly. You can add more sugar if you like, but I tend to go slightly on the lower side. Just another word about the sugar that I was talking about. Now I prefer to use vanilla sugar, which has cut pieces of vanilla pods inside, and then you may be able to see that what it produces is tiny little black specks, which you use to flavour the cake or whatever it is you're making, and it makes it extra special. If you don't have those or don't want to do that, you can use half a teaspoon of a good vanilla essence, not vanilla flavouring. Then there's another thing I just wanted to mention, and that is the things that make the cheesecake creamy. This mascarpone, which is Italian, has a really delicious flavour. It is quite thick, and so what I want to suggest is that instead of using 4 tablespoons of mascarpone and 2 of Greek style yogurt, which is 6 in total, you can mix it a bit and you can make 3 of each. Make 3 of mascarpone and 3 of the yogurt. It won't make a lot of difference. The yogurt is definitely lighter, but the whole thing in the end will be deliciously creamy. Now to start with, what we do is we take 3 digestive biscuits and you put them in a plastic bag, quite a strong one, and you need a rolling pin for this. We're not making pastry, we're just going to bash the biscuits quickly like this, just press them down, roll them a little bit, and in 2 seconds you've got biscuit crumbs. This is the easiest and cleanest way to prepare these. Now this is going to form the base of these little ramekins. Now what we do first is to make sure that the cheesecake doesn't stick. We brush them very carefully all over the bottom and the sides with some melted butter. There we go. That's it. And then, when all 3 are done, they are ready. If you don't have a brush, you do have fingers. You can actually use your fingers and then wash your hands afterwards. When you've crushed the biscuits, add about a tablespoon of the melted butter into them, mix it around, and then you're ready to start lining the individual ramekins. The crumbs are now in the base of the 3 pots. Now comes the creamy filling. Now the mascarpone is the heaviest of all these things, and so I'm going to suggest that what you do is you mash it a little bit before you start putting the rest of it in, and then you put next the couple of tablespoons of the vanilla sugar. So there we are, I'm adding the sugar, and then I would carry on just mixing it around a little bit to break it down and soften it. Now at that stage you can then add the egg, and whisk it up a tiny bit just before you put it in, just to break it up. There we go. Carry on mixing it. Doing it with a spoon next sort of bangs the lumps out of it. And then when you've got it to that stage, then you're ready just to fold in the lighter Greek yogurt. There we are. Be careful not to overbeat it. 2 of the ramekins with the mixture, and I'm just going to do the last one just to show you not to pour it right up to the top because it might possibly boil over. So now here they are ready to go in. Now with a microwave, of course, you don't have to preheat it. I'm going to cook them for a total of 2 minutes. And this is what I do. They start like this for 1 minute. Just set the microwave to 1 minute and then open the door. Then turn them round and do it for 20 seconds. Do it again for another 20 seconds, turn around the other way, and one final time for 20 seconds to make a total of 2 minutes. Now the reason we do that is because if you do it all in one go at 2 minutes, it might be too much of a blast for this soft and gentle mixture. So just follow me and wait and see what it's going to look like.
By the way, if you have a microwave with a turntable, you don't need to do this. In either case, just make sure that you stand the pots on a plastic or other microwavable flat dish.
Here they are, just out of the oven. Now I'm going to show them to you. There's a few tiny bubbles on top. They are no longer very wobbly and runny. They just look set. Now you have to leave them for half an hour. And then after that, you're going to run a knife round the edge and get them out. Now the cheesecakes have cooled a little bit, but they're not yet cold enough. But I'm going to show you what to do next. You want to take a knife and just run it around the edge like that, where it will come off perfectly. Now I have to warn you that the bottom part is not going to come off quite so easily. But this is what we're going to do. I'm going to put a piece of paper on top of this, like that. I just put my hand on top of the paper and then turn it over fast. And then if I tap it, it comes out. Now, it may be, as in this one, that you've missed a little bit of it. So what I would do is, I would spoon that little bit onto the top there. And you can see I've just done 2 here, so there's only 1 more to go. Now I'm going to show you what to do with them this way up, because this isn't the way you want to serve it. So I shall move that out of the way for a moment. And what you do is you put a saucer on top of the crumb side, like that, and then you take it off and you just flip it over, like that. And then carefully putting your hand close to where it is on the paper, you just slide it off, and there you have your finished cheesecake. Now in my original recipe, I suggested raspberries, blueberries, peaches, all kinds of things. Now it's winter, and so raspberries are okay, but the best things I think to use are blueberries. So all I'm going to do is just finish it off with a little bit of blueberries around the edge, and you have an individual cheesecake dessert. There is one more thing that I'm going to do with them. When they're quite cold, I'm going to cut them into triangles, and these are going to be called cheesecake bites. You can see that this is getting ever smaller. So in a minute, you're going to see the cheesecake bites. Now, here's the very last thing. If you don't want to serve the little cheesecakes up as a dessert for 3 people, and you've got more people coming, and they're just coming for a drink or something, and you want a nibble to go with it, this is what I call cheesecake bites. So you have your individual cheesecake, there it is. And then what you do is you simply cut it into 4, and that makes 4 triangles. Then what you do is you have the triangles all ready. Here they are on a little piece of paper, and when they're chilled, they are absolutely delicious. But even better news is that you can freeze them. Here are some that I put on a glass tray, and I made those yesterday. And there are 9 of them, and that will serve about 3 people standing up, having a drink or a cup of tea, and you've got something in your freezer to offer people later. So I do hope that you like the remake of Magic Cheesecake, and if you do, please subscribe, and better still, just tell your friends and ask them to have a look at it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.